Hey Thrivers, Heather here, and I have Kiri. Kiri's here too. She might pop in and out. We're making Play-Doh animals, but we are excited to come to you today. It's just me. Mark is serving our clients right now, and we're going to be talking about how to achieve your #1 marriage goal. So I would really appreciate going off of our live stream that Mark and I did last week, where we talked about how to have your best marriage ever in 2019 and to build on those principles that we talked about. Just a quick recap. We talked about the importance of those outcome-based goals, like the results-based goals, like to lose weight, to get my spouse back, to end the affair, all of those different kind of external goals versus looking internal to the systems and then to who we are and to our locus of control. And when we start to shift from focusing on all the external results to the internal, who do I need to be, who do I need to become to have this, then the outer results start to take care of themselves. So that's our approach. That is what we have found is absolutely proven to work. I've experienced it in my own life, and it is what helps us to achieve those things that we're looking for. Like I mentioned earlier in the last live training with Mark, is that I used to be a person that I would have a really big ambition. I'd have all these things I wanted to do. Like I've always had a lot of drive, a lot of imagination, and hunger for life and hunger to achieve things. But when it came down to it, I would not do them because changing our behaviors, changing our patterns, changing those external results can be very, very hard, right? If we're looking at it from the kind of outside in approach versus the inside out approach. So, hey Brian, hey Lisa, hey May, hey Kaylee and Francis and everyone else joining. So that's kind of a recap of our training last week. If you didn't have a chance to watch it, I really encourage you to go back and study and apply those things there. All right, so this is going to be super tactful and we're going to go through it somewhat quickly, but I want you to take actually probably go back through and listen to the replay and take time with this. I'm actually going to guide us through 9, we'll call them power questions, that are going to guide us and lead us to achieving those most important things in our marriage. And so I encourage you to do this in a place where you don't have distractions and you can really give your presence, your intention to this because it's important. You're here because your marriage is important. I believe marriage is the most sacred relationship that we can have and that we grow more through our marriage than any other. We also get tested more and that's why we grow more. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right in here. And again, I encourage you to do this. I want you to ask these questions of yourself and go through this like a guided exercise. So I posted in the group, asked a lot of you what your #1 marriage goal was. A lot of you said you want to increase intimacy and connection. You also want to restore trust. You want to get your spouse back. You want to improve communication. And all of these are awesome. They're really, really good. So I honor you and I celebrate you for having that intention. Sorry, my house cleaner is actually upstairs vacuuming, so I apologize for the background noise. Actually, we're going to go on a little walk because it's just too noisy. So come with me. We are live, and we're actually going to go outside here for a little bit. Oh, I should have communicated that with her. That's okay. I'm really grateful that I have help with that, the house cleaning. So it's a gorgeous day here in Colorado. It's like 63 degrees, and that is super bright light. So I'm going to go over this way a little bit. Okay. So going through this, I would, again, encourage you to take some time and put some real thought and meaning behind this because this is our most important thing. And all of those that you want to achieve, the better communication, the increased intimacy, restored trust, getting your spouse back. Those are all very, very important and we want to achieve them. So going back to last week's training, let's shift our focus from those external results. And these questions are going to kind of help us reverse engineer those things so that we can truly get there this year. All right, so first goal here, and I'm not on my Be Live, so I can't post it like I normally do, which is more fun to me, but that's okay. I can still put it as a comment, and I would like you to weigh in. I actually want you to write out your answers to these things, because there's a powerful brain connection when we actually articulate our thoughts down into concrete language. So when we write them out or when we type them out, it's giving very specific clarity to our mind about what we really want. So what is my number one goal? What is my number one goal? I hope you guys can see that there. There it is. Good. It's working. All right. And another way to look at this is, what's the most important thing I can do this year that would have a serious impact on our marriage? So a really important thing that's helped me go from a person that had a lot of desire and a lot of ambition, but very poor follow through and very poor results, was this idea of having 1 to 2 most impactful things that would help me get the result I want. So I'm going to put that there. I want to hear from you. Okay. So Sheila says to take both of our paths and make them one. Okay. That's a beautiful one. And I'm going to be watching the chat. So I want to hear from you guys. What is your number one goal? And then what's the most important thing I can do this year to make a serious impact on our marriage? I'm going to go sit down over here because I'm like holding my laptop. So I'm going to go sit down on my, hopefully I'm not making anyone dizzy. All right. Welcome to the porch steps. All right. This will be more comfortable. So what's the most important thing I can do this year to make a serious impact on our marriage? I'm going to guide us through, let's pick 2 examples. I'm going to pick your two top ones. So let's say that you're in a marriage and it's the lack of intimacy. It's the lack of connection. And let's say a lack of physical, sexual intimacy. So let's say in this example, you've been married for several years. And while you're both maybe committed to the relationship, there is no passion, there is no real deep connection, and there is no sexual intimacy. And so things have become very stale. So in this instance, the most important thing I could do this year would be to deepen that connection, have that intimacy, both emotional intimacy as well as physical and sexual intimacy. So in that instance, that would be the answer. Now let's do another one, the restoring trust. So let's say that my husband had an affair and now he's willing to work on the relationship with me, but I have serious trust issues. So the most impactful thing in that situation would be, I want to be able to restore that trust. I want to be able to trust that my husband is going to be with me and stay with me, and that he's not going to have another affair. Okay, so what is it for you? Hope those give you some examples. Brian says to earn trust back. Awesome. To always speak Sheila, to always speak in love to my husband, even during disagreements. Awesome. Yep. Honest communications. So many good. Bliss. Adam and Eve lived in a state of bliss. Oneness. Beautiful. Okay. And that seems to scare her. Cool. So I'm trying not to get too ahead of my own thoughts here. It's really crucial that we get clarity for ourselves, and that's why I'm having you write this down or type it out, that we know what we want, because so many times we are unhappy with where we are, and sometimes we don't even we've kind of lost that focus, we've lost that clarity, and we don't have that direction. And without that direction, we're not going to get anywhere. It's kind of like if my husband were to go up in his airplane like he does every day, and he doesn't chart out his course, his flight plan is the official term. If he didn't have that, he just kind of fly around and putz around here and there, and maybe the wind would come and a huge storm would happen. It would take him over there, and it could take him very far off course and take him into really dangerous or unideal circumstances, right? So it's very important that we know where we're going. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have obstacles, because they are going to come. And that's what we're going to get to next, is how to plan for those. So first question, what is my number one goal? What is the most important thing I can do this year that would have a dramatic effect on my marriage? So you got that? All right, let's go to number 2. Here's another one. It's so awesome and so epic and so big. All right, 2, why is this important to me? I love these really big questions. In other words, sometimes they're very hard. You're like, oh, that's such a big question. How do I even answer that? Why is this important to me? And we're going to go really deep here, really deep. You ready? Are you brave? Do you want to go that deep? You go that deep, this is where change actually is going to happen. My mentors taught me that when I connect to my why, that's where I find the magic. And that's where I find myself naturally pulled to accomplish my goals, pulled to make those changes, rather than I'm constantly pushing or trying to motivate myself to make changes. So why is this important to me? Let's go back to the example with the lack of intimacy. Why is this important to me? Because I don't feel fulfilled and I want to feel close and connected. I want to be a good example to my kids. I want to have the rest of our marriage be happy. I want to live the marriage of my dreams. Okay, so crystallize that, clarify that for yourself. And now, once you have your first why, that's the surface why. Okay, here's the hint. And most people stop there. I want you to go deeper. Okay, I'm putting on my coaching hat here. I want you to go deeper. So say, I want to be a good example to my kids. Take each of those whys and take them a level deeper. Why do I want to be a good example to my kids? Well, I want to show them that it's possible. I want them to grow up and have a happy marriage. Why do I want them to grow up and have a happy marriage? Because I want the best for my children. It really matters to me. Why does it matter to me that my children grow up and are happy? Because it brings me joy. It brings me joy. It brings me a sense of peace. It brings me a sense of fulfillment. You'll know you get to the deepest level why almost always when it is one of those core emotions. It's something that really stirs your soul. Most people want their kids to be happy, but why? Why for you? Why is that such a big deal? Okay, let's go to the trust one, just as another example. I want to know that my husband's not going to have an affair again. Why is that important? Because I want to know that he's with me, that we're going to be a partner. Why is that important? Because I want partnership. I want security. I want to feel like we're an equal team, like we're equally yoked, and that I don't have to carry more or he doesn't have to carry more, but we're in this together. Why is that important? Well, that feeling of security. Why is security important to me? When I feel secure, I'm at peace. That's it. It's the feeling of peace. So I hope my examples are helping you to clarify for yourself what it is. And like I said, I'm going through this fast. I want you to take some time. And if you don't have the answers right now, that's okay. Take some time in quiet and really listen to your inner being and what it's communicating to you right now. Okay. So why is my why my why? And why is that my why? And why is that my why? And why is that my why? Until you get to that point of, wow, this is the truth for me. I want to live with peace. I want to be fulfilled. I want to have that sense of love and that sense of worth, that I deserve this love and that I can give love freely to others. Why? Because that brings me happiness. That brings me joy. Okay? So are you following me? This is like years and years and years and years of knowledge and wisdom and actual application that I'm trying to distill down into a training for you today. So I really hope that you're able to take this and apply it and utilize it. All right, so those are our first two questions, pretty big questions. The next ones are going to go a little bit faster. But 3, what's the most important? No, that's not it. I already did that one. All right, 3, how would it feel to have this? Okay, so here we're going deeper into the surface level, what we're trying to obtain and why it's important to really visualizing and connecting emotionally at the core of our being to what that feels like. Wow. So if I'm the woman whose husband had an affair, what would it feel like to have that complete sense of security, that complete sense of trust, that complete sense of fulfillment and peace in my life? I think of Leah, who, many of you know her stories. She went through that journey as well as many of our other clients. And they're now on the other side of that and they're living that. And they know that it's possible. And they know that it's blissful, but they did this exercise. Okay. You have to reverse engineer it and you have to tap into the emotion of it as if it were now. And when you're in the emotion of it as if it were now, it will be pulled to you so much faster and with greater ease. And it absolutely is the magic that it takes. Neville Goddard says, feeling is the secret. It really is. You must tap into it. So deepening that a little bit more, we're going to go to our next question. What would it look like? Okay, giving this as more tangible evidence to our brain of what we want. We don't want this vague destination. We want clarity and give our brain instruction. We can actually tell our subconscious, this is what I want. And it is an incredible machine. It will go to work to find the solutions, to make the pathways, make the connections, look, it will start to look for all the solutions that maybe before you were in too much pain to see. Or maybe before you weren't aware that that's what you even wanted, so it just kind of passed you by. So it kind of like sets out that, not a radar, I don't know what it is. It puts things on the radar for you, right? That maybe they were there, but you didn't notice them before. So what would it look like? What would it look like to come home to my spouse, and maybe he was gone for a weekend trip, and I have complete peace and security about it. I'm not checking his phone. I'm not, all these other things I was doing. And I just know that he was where he said he was, and it's okay. I'm not even worried about it. I'm so grateful to see him, what it would look like, the expression on his face, the expression on my face, the feeling in my heart, how I go to bed at night, the feeling I have when I wake up in the morning. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Okay. And then deepening this even further. And Sheila says, I would feel totally fulfilled as a wife, like I did as a new bride. Yeah, beautiful. That's exactly it. All right. How would my spouse respond? So here, we're not saying like, I'm going to make you do this, or I'm going to force him to change or her to change. This is more like, if I was in that state of just complete security, of complete fulfillment, of just peace and happiness and joy, how would my spouse respond? Would I be more attractive to them? Would they feel secure and fulfilled with me? So future pacing it, it's in visualizing it as if it were now. How would my spouse respond to these internal changes within me? Okay. All right. Like I said, I know we're going fast, but I really encourage you to go through these, and that's also why I'm putting them here into the comments. All right. Next question. What do I need to learn to have this, and who can I learn it from? So now this is the part where we've fed into that vision and we're like, we crave it. We want it so much. And we recognize the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Okay. So now is a point where we want to open ourselves up to some inspiration and to the ideas and to taking these things and putting them into tangible, actionable steps. So what do I need to learn, and who do I need to learn it from? Learn it from. And so these are really two questions, but maybe it's that, I don't know how to trust my husband. I don't know how to heal from this past pain. I don't know, but I want to learn. I want to learn that process. I want to learn like how to establish those healthy boundaries with him. I want to know when it's okay to check his phone, when it's not okay, what behaviors I can do to pull him toward me, and which ones might be pushing him further away. I want to know those things. I'm recognizing Mommy, I don't have those skills. I don't have that knowledge or experience. And I do have a green banana that I need to eat. So, delicious. Thank you, Kiri. Thank you, Kiri. Her siblings are at school, so she gets super bored sometimes. So what do I need to learn, and who can I learn it from? If I were wanting to know, how do I heal from that pain? How do I establish those healthy boundaries? How do I know when it's okay to say this? How do I know when it's okay to cry and say, you hurt me so much, and know that that's not going to push him further away, right? There might be all of those different questions that come up for us. And it's okay to recognize, I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before. I've always gotten really upset. I've always blown up. I've always pushed him further away. I've always gotten terrified, and I've retreated, whatever it might look like in your situation. And it's okay to say, I just don't know how to do that. I don't know what that looks like, but I want to learn. So who is someone I could learn that from? Maybe I have a friend who's gone through a similar thing. Maybe there's an expert, an international marriage expert, has a plug here for Mark and I, that I could go to, that I could get these skills from, that I could learn these things from, that could guide me and help me along the journey, so I don't have to do it alone. So I could learn from other clients that have gone through that, like Leah, and all the others, the dozens and hundreds, and at this point actually thousands of others who've gone through that know and have gone through those things. So I can learn from them and be strengthened by them and apply what they've learned to my situation. Okay. So whatever answers come up for you, write them down and then take action. Go seek out those people, go to those resources and learn from them. Now for me, I wanted to build an international marriage coaching business online, which I did not know how to do. And I didn't know anyone personally that has ever done that, right? It's not like they're walking around the street every day. And so for me, I had to go to books. I had to go to mentors. I had to hire mentors and then other mentors. And I had to go from one coach to another until I found the right solution. It's not going to happen overnight, but the right solutions will come as you act on that inspiration, step by step by step by step, to the point now where I look back, I'm like, we did it. And we're still growing and we're still learning. And now we are one of the fastest marriage online resources in the world. We are the fastest growing. And that's just incredible. And I'm so grateful. And now we've got tricycle noise. I apologize. But that's how it really comes down to it. We need to learn from those who have gone before us and have experts to guide us along our way. All right, next question. What systems, I love you, Carrie. We're going back inside. What systems do I need to put in place to achieve this? So this is where we go from the outer results down to the systems. And that might look like, okay, I've learned from my mentor, I've learned from this person that I need to have a healthy boundary. And that's a system that my husband and I need to have to check in regularly with each other so that we can establish that trust. Okay, in that instance, it might look like that. In the intimacy example, maybe a system that you could put in place is that, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I don't know, I'm just making this up, we can expect that we're going to have sexual intimacy. And we're actually going to schedule it. We're going to block the time and make sure that those are really good times for us. Mark and I teach this a lot, and it sounds kind of boring. It sounds like it's taking the fun out of sexual intimacy. However, if you've ever been in a period where you've had none, or it's super inconsistent, actually planning it and expecting that can have a huge relief on both partners, because it's no longer about getting rejected or having expectations unmet. It's about having a plan, so a system. So what systems would support you in your change? What systems do you need to incorporate in your marriage to get to your goal so you can achieve that number one goal? Does that make sense? I know, I'm going through this so fast. It's so good though. All right, and our final power question. This is the bomb to be like 1990s. All right, here it is. Boom. Who do I need to be to have this? This is the most important question that we could ever ask ourselves in our lives. Who do I need to be to have this? Another way to look at that is, what kind of person would have trust in their marriage? What kind of person would be able to set healthy boundaries? Okay, well, that kind of person would be willing to have some hard conversations, even if they're really challenging. They would have confidence. They would be willing to do the hard things, to do the scary things. So they would have courage. And so you can start to identify some qualities and some traits of the people that have the things you want to have, that experience the things that you want to experience. So the person that has a very passionate, connected, intimate, and sexually active marriage, what do? Well, they probably meet their spouse's needs. But it's, I meet your needs, and then, my needs are then able to be more fulfilled. So how can I create that? How can I become that kind of person? A person like that would understand their spouse. So how can I have more understanding for my spouse? How can I be a person who is understanding, right? And that might feel very foreign to who you are right now, but that story of who you are can absolutely change. I have seen it, and it's what I'm driven and so passionate to do, because I've completely transformed who I am, and I have seen others do it themselves. So it's really just a matter of choice. Okay, that's it. Whoa, and I'm throwing Play-Doh. Knocking over Play-Doh here, sorry. All right, so those are our power questions. Again, I encourage you to go through these and to ponder them, to put them somewhere where you're going to see them often, to review them daily, and to review your week. At least once a week, have a deep sit down with yourself and be like, how am I doing on this? Am I becoming the person I need to become? Am I becoming the best version of myself, right? So I am going to put the link here for our New Year's marriage goal sheet. I know some of you grabbed it last week. I'm not going to have you comment to get it because Facebook keeps warning me about sending too many messages. It's kind of dumb. But I really encourage you to get this. It's completely free. It's just a New Year's marriage goal sheet, and it's a goal sheet you can use at any time. We just go along with the New Year's thing because it's January, right? So go through that and apply these things. Really take some time to go through the questions and allow your inner self to give you the answers. I promise that as you give yourself some quiet and really tap in, you'll find the truth. You will find the answers, and then start to take action on them. It's not going to be huge things. It's going to be those small incremental 1 degree differences that over time are going to get you where you want to be. All right, and then finally, I did want to let everyone know, because I love you and I really want to see you succeed in your marriage this year. So Mark and I, this week only, you may have seen a couple posts or emails from us, we are offering our group coaching program, which is a 10-week intensive working in a group setting with Mark and I in a very small, intimate group where we go deep into each of these things. I mean, maybe you were like, I don't know how to have those healthy boundaries. I don't know how to restore trust. I don't know how to let go of pain. We go through all of those things with you, and we really hold you by the hand. And the group setting is incredibly powerful because you learn from all the other members of the group. So that's normally a 10-week program, and we are offering an extra bonus 4 weeks for those that join. We actually only have 2 spots left. Literally, we actually had we just had 1 join today and then 3 join. Anyway, we have 2 spots left because we want to keep it really small and intimate. So once the 2 spots are gone, they're gone. And we're just doing this as a special New Year's fresh start offer for you guys. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to put this here. Type in yes. Join group coaching for 4 bonus weeks if you want some information about that, if that really resonates with you, if you want to be one of those last 2 people that have the privilege of working with Mark and I in that way to really get momentum in your relationship, then just type in yes, and I will get you the link for that. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate being able to share these things that I have learned and that I have learned from many others. They don't come from me. They come from those who have gone before me, and I'm just so grateful that I am able to have this opportunity to pass this on to you. It has truly transformed my life from a person of being in incredible pain and insecurity and in cycles of dysfunctional behavior that did not serve me or my marriage well, to truly changing who I am and becoming the person that I needed to be able to get the things that I wanted to have. And I know that as you do these things, you will have that same ability to achieve the things that you want to achieve this year. So I hope that this has been helpful for you, and I encourage you to go through this again on your own and let me know how we can support you best. You guys have a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon.